Only I would get my chain stuck in the microphone.
All right, what's up, guys? Here we are, as promised, back at Raw Gym, Texas, here to knock out some shoulder today. So today I'm gonna do plenty of movements that are gonna involve some compound and some isolation at the same time. Get some free weight movement in, get some machines going. Today I'm gonna start with rear delts, start with the smallest muscle group in the shoulder, just like when I train legs and I start with calves. You know, it doesn't take much energy to go ahead and knock out the rear delts, so I'm gonna start with that first. And just like last time, it's later in the evening, so obviously I'm ready to get into, you know, this training. We are about 10 weeks and a few days outside of the 2019 Miss Olympia contest. So things are starting to really kind of come together. This is when I really start to buckle down as far as like the diet, the training, you know, I kind of get the cardio going, all the things that's gonna bring this physique, you know, to the ultimate package at the end here in September. So like I said, we're gonna get some rear delts started, then we're gonna go to some side laterals and show you guys how to get wide. You know, a lot of people always ask me like, you know, why my shoulders are so wide and so round. Partially, that's gonna be because of my clavicle, so I'm naturally wide, but as far as building that muscle and making it three-dimensional from front to back, that's what we're gonna get a look at today. So we're gonna get some pressing in, some flies, and who knows, we may even throw some arms in at the end, but we'll see how I'm feeling. So let's get into the workout and get going. So starting with the peg deck, a lot of you guys are familiar with that machine. You know, obviously using it for the rear delt. But I start with this machine most of the time because it's real easy on the joints. It's real easy to get warmed up. I mean, you just sit there and you know, it's just a reverse fly. When doing this, like usually I'll try to keep the handles just below shoulder width. So this way my arms aren't raised so high to where it kind of takes attention away from the rear delt. So I notice by doing that, it makes it easy to just squeeze back. Keep your chest up against the pad. That way you're not kind of rocking back and forth. If your chest comes off that pad, that probably means the weight's too heavy. So you're gonna wanna lighten it up so that way you can make sure you get the squeeze, because on that particular muscle group, if you're not getting the squeeze all throughout the movement, then that's pretty much pointless. Nice burn real quick. And these obviously reps are gonna be 20. Fortunate for me, shoulders are pretty strong, keeping my rear delt, so I can get pretty close to the entire stack with nice, smooth range of motion. And typically between these sets, take usually about a minute rest, minute 30 if it's heavy. It just depends on how I'm feeling. Of course, the heavier the weight, it'll take a little bit longer rest period. A lot of people always wonder how long should you wait. Generally, once the burning stops a little bit, and you feel like you can complete another set, that's when you go back at it again. And rear delt's gonna be one of those muscle groups too that I notice a lot of people don't pay a whole lot of attention to, but you know, it is a part of the shoulder. And when you're trying to look at the shoulder from all angles, you don't really wanna leave anything out. So some guys will train rear delts, but don't put a lot of focus in them. So for me, always, first two exercises I start with are rear delt because, like I said, they're fairly easy to train as opposed to the other parts of the shoulder. I always do at least 2 movements. So one will be a machine, then I may pair that with a cable, or I might pair it with free weight dumbbells. So that's probably what I'm gonna do today, is use dumbbells. Who knows, I may even do the cables as well. As usual, that was a drop set on the last set, and it burns. So a drop set is usually gonna be, for the most part, around 30, 35 reps, because like I always say, if you're at the top, at the amount of weight you can lift, I usually try to get 10 reps at least. And sometimes I'm feeling I'll get 15, then additional 20. Those last 2 are always 10 rep minimum. And then once you get to the lightest weight, if you want to get some extra reps in, if you're able to, Go ahead and squeeze them out. Some more reps, more blood, more muscle growth. All right, guys, so next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna stay on the rear delts just like I was saying over there. It's a little crowded over out of the free weight area, so chose to come over here and use some cables instead. So I've seen people do this variation for rear delt. I'm using a free motion machine or cables. Some they do it from a higher angle. So this one, I'm gonna do it similar to what I was just doing on a pec deck, because coming from the higher angle, sometimes you risk actually getting your back involved, and then that takes tension away from your rear delt. So being straight on with it, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna grab this right here by the hooks, or either by this stopping point, and you're just gonna bring it together to where just where your hands touch, and then bring it right back out. And the weight on here, be mindful of the fact that you wanna have a good squeeze. So this is gonna be one of those exercises where you can go and put 40 pounds and think you're gonna move smoothly through the movement. If you do, more power to you. And one of the best things about this movement is, since it is free motion, there's really no perfect angle. Everybody's insertions in their shoulders are gonna be different. So some people may like it slightly higher, some people may like it slightly lower. It's all on your preference, however you feel the rear delt contracting the best. So just keep that in mind as you're adjusting the arms up and down. But the same motion, range of motion applies. The rear delt, once you get to shoulder length, out to your side, that's pretty much where your rear delt's gonna stop contracting. So if you see people going way back, I guarantee you that's taking tension away from the rear delt. So you wanna keep it right in front, and you're here, and then you just come to your side, and then back, and you'll feel it. The weight I'm using is about 35 pounds for each side. Well, that doesn't seem like a lot, but for this particular movement, it's more than enough. I'm probably gonna run one more of these, guys. About 4 sets. Not gonna do a drop set on this one though. Hopefully I can get some space over here and move to these rear delt dumbbell flies. Some people that were coming at having questions, wondering, was this a target, back, upper back? The answer is this is actually for rear delt. So when you're doing this movement, you're not bringing your elbows low, you're actually bringing them high. So you do that and you rotate the shoulder outward, that actually takes it away from your back. So you take the tension off of your lat, which can happen if you turn this into a row, and then you shift it all the way to your rear delt. So you have to remember to keep your elbow up in line with your shoulder. So this way, you're not pulling your back. And you don't have to worry about not getting it in the right angle, because if you're leaning over this bench, you see it's gonna force you to let your shoulders hang. So if you do that, then all you have to do is basically retract it straight up. It start with a lightweight. I start with 35. Probably gonna make my way upwards of 60 pounds. But this is the third movement, so 3 exercises in, I'm still on rear delts. But that just goes to show you the kind of attention they're gonna have to give certain muscle groups if you want to actually grow and stand out. So like I said before, you don't see a lot of people putting a ton of emphasis on rear delts, but I start the shoulder workouts with rear delts. The only difference is whether it's 2 exercises or 3. But either way, just pump them till you get as full of blood as you possibly can. And even sometimes on back days, sometimes I'll throw rear delt in. It's just one of those things that just builds detail the more frequent you have a chance to actually train it. So you guys notice, like I said before, keep your elbows high, and the movement's gonna do itself. You just have to make sure, be mindful of the amount of weight. Like I said, rear delt, it would be smart to pick the proper amount of weight you get the squeeze versus just trying to move the weight. Because that's what'll happen when you start trying to go too heavy. You're just gonna find yourself trying to move the weight instead of actually contracting the muscle. Pace I'm moving today is a little bit faster than normal. Then my buddy going set for set basically. So I'm not even taking a full minute rest time. Which is fine because intensity makes a big difference on how you build muscle. Keep your heart rate high, burn more fat, work a little bit harder. Damn. Now, the good thing about doing them on this bench is it makes you use only your rear delt. Similar to that back exercise that we just had in the last video. Because you have to keep your chest down so you don't get any movement. Strictly isolate the rear delt. So that's why I said it's gonna force you to be smart about the amount of weight you choose, because if you go too heavy, you're gonna try to raise yourself up off of the bench. And once you do that, you'll just completely avoid the exercise. So pick that weight wisely and make sure through every rep, you're getting that good squeeze. It's the only way you're gonna build those shoulders, the rear part of your shoulders anyway. Okay guys, so that wraps it up for rear delt. So you got 3 different variations, 3 different types of movements, 4 sets each. Throw a drop set in on the pec deck or the rear fly machine. Now we're gonna move on to some side laterals. So for me, over the past, I guess, 4 years, actually, probably since I started bodybuilding, it's been a huge focus for me to do side laterals at least 2-3 times a week, right? Because for me, I know that my body responds well to frequency. So when people wonder how my shoulders are so big or so round, it's because of the amount of frequency at which I train them. Like I said, for the past 4 years, it's been at least twice a week. And I give them a fair amount of attention because it's the biggest part of their shoulder. Where some people, when they want to build their shoulders up, they focus a lot on pressing. For me, it's completely the opposite. I focus a lot on side laterals because that's what's going to create that roundness. So when you're doing your shoulders and you're training, man, that rear delt and those medial delts are just as important as the front. So don't get so caught up in the heavy presses and stuff like that. I've seen a lot of guys get injured, trying to press heavier and heavier just to increase their shoulder size. So pay attention to the other parts of the shoulder, and that's gonna make you grow overall. So I started at 30 pounds. You guys will notice I'm not doing a whole lot of rocking back and forth. And that's what you want when you're trying to target that medial delt. Strict movement, strict form. You'll try to keep from moving back and forth as much as possible. Granted, you're gonna have a little bit of movement because you're swinging weights, from your side, but you can't minimalize it by trying to be strict with your form. And that's just gonna go back to picking the right amount of weight in which you actually feel that muscle contracting. And for me, I generally increase the weight 10 pounds each set. But if you can go heavier, by all means. But keep those reps high. 15, 20 reps at least on this exercise. Take a little second to squeeze out those last few reps. So now we're transferring around to the front. So we did those side laterals. More than likely we'll do another side lateral movement after I get done with these presses. But I'm just gonna go with the old school dumbbell press today. Sometime I'll use the Smith machine, but I did a couple warm-up sets in there just to get the joints ready to go. Then I'll go right into 70 pounds as a warm-up weight here. And as I get going, we'll see how much we'll get up to. Dumbbell presses, you know, it's real efficient when it comes to building up that front delt. Kind of one of my go-tos. Dumbbell presses and front raises. So today we're gonna do both. Typically on dumbbell press, I'll play it by ear at the amount of weight in which I increase. Sometimes 10 pounds, sometimes 15. In this case, I did 20. That felt pretty good. So to go up another 10 pounds, maybe top out 110, 115, something like that. But I'm still trying to keep the reps high. So got to keep that in mind when I'm picking how much weight, because I don't want to do half movements. I really want to actually feel it all the way through the set. Easy money. Got it. I got it. I don't really ever use a spot. But on movements like this, he's there just in case, which is smart because once you get heavier, trying to kick these dumbbells up, you know, you don't want to throw your shoulder. So it's a good idea if you have someone there training with you that can not necessarily spot you and take the weight off of you, but just to make sure you're safe and the weight doesn't get out of control. If you guys heard me tell him I got it, it's good that he's there because anything goes wrong, you know, he's there to catch the weight or keep me stiff so you don't end up throwing your shoulder out or something like that, something crazy when you're dealing with that heavier weight. That's it for presses. So I'm gonna move right into front raises. Instead of getting off of the front delt, I'm just gonna go ahead and go right into these front raises. I'll see how I feel after. I may do side raises, superset with upright rows. We'll see, but let's go straight into these front raises. I'm gonna do these standing. Sometime I'll do it seated, but today I'm just gonna do them standing straight up. Alternate each side. Just start with 30 pounds on that. Nothing too crazy because you want to make sure you can get a good squeeze, just like everything else. And if you notice, it was pretty strict and not to move back and forth. There was no rocking on that set. So as long as you can keep strict form, then increase the weight. Because of course, heavier weight is gonna yield more muscle growth. But you just gotta make sure you control it first. And when I was doing them, you'll notice I kept the weight straight up and down. I didn't turn it. I didn't go across or anything like that because I strictly wanted to target just the front delt. I didn't really want to get right there near that tie-in. I actually use an entirely different exercise to target that part of my muscle right there. So I just wanted just the front. So I kept it to the outside instead of crossing over towards the inside. You go to the inside, it's gonna move from the outside. And it's gonna hit closer towards that delt chest tie-in, which isn't a bad thing if that's what you're trying to target. But on this, just only the delt, that's it. That's it for that, guys. Man, those burn. If you do them correctly, front raises are something else. So now I'm gonna move on to some upright rows. Probably gonna be the last movement. This will be movement number 5 or 6, I believe. Yeah, that's gonna just about wrap it up. Delts are about spent. So, get 2 more meals before bed tonight. So I may make these workouts count, feed those muscles, grow when you sleep. Okay, let's do it. So you guys are doing these upright rows. You want to have your hands not too close and not too wide using a barbell. I'm using this camber bar, which is a barbell that's kind of slightly bent. It just works easier for my elbows and my shoulders. That's just for my particular instructor. Someone else may want to use like a long barbell or even a straight bar. But you do that, stand upright, and then just pull the bar straight up across your body. So you don't want to do a lot of rocking where the bar is sitting far out in front of you. Like I said, you want to let your hands hang, your arms hang, and just bring it straight up. Just do that. Squeeze your delt, squeeze your traps. Get everything you need out of the exercise. 20 reps, burn. Jeez Christ. That's it, guys. That wraps it up. So I hope you guys enjoy the workout. Make sure you follow it in this exact order. Like I said, I know a lot of you guys out there, you start training your delts, everyone's first go-to is presses. So sometimes changing up the order of a workout, you know, start with something that you normally finish with, change up the reps, sets, movements, angles, whatever you can. But just make sure when you're doing that you're still targeting the exact muscle that you want to hit. I see a lot of guys, a lot of people train and they're trying to get so creative, you know, with some of these different angles and exercises that they're actually getting away from targeting a muscle group that they want to hit. So, yo, be creative as you want, but then at the same time, keep in mind that that shoulder, that's a ball and socket joint. So it can work several different ways, but you're trying to hit 3 different heads of the muscle. So rear, side, front, side, rear, front, front, however you want to do it, mix it up. And like I said, be smart with the weight. Make sure you contract every single rep, every set, keep it intense, rest as little as possible, keep your form tight, and that's gonna do it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave your comments below, subscribe to the channel, and we'll be back next time with an arm workout. Know you guys love to train arms. See you next time.